Okay, hello and welcome back. I apologize for not streaming last Wednesday, just time got away from me and I forgot. So I was in the middle of something else and couldn't stream. So, and the developer for Travelers and Tales and the Seaside Inn released a new game yesterday. So Mass Effect is on hold for this week, so we can live stream this one ASAP. And I really should. There it is. Okay, according to the page on itch for the game, it's called Hedge Wizard, which usually the term is Hedge Witch, so that's already unique. So you play as a traveling hedge wizard who settles down in an old abandoned tower that once belonged to a powerful wizard. With help from someone in the nearby town, you begin to clean the place up and make it a home, and all the while researching the books and tomes the wizard left behind. Will you find knowledge to make yourself a better wizard, or learn something even more important? While not everyone is trusting of mages, you can make people's lives better. Make potions, herbal remedies, and cast helpful spells to help people in town to earn their goodwill. This is a short and sweet fantasy game of 23,000 words, and apparently there's presumably the character that helps you out can be romanced or befriended, and 2 possible endings with variations based on player choice. Now, the fun thing about player choice is when I was doing Travelers and Tales, apparently I picked all the right options to get the best ending. So when I tried picking the other options off stream, I kept getting the bad endings, and it was just cracking me up. Because I'm like, oh, I just happened to stumble on the correct combination. But like, if you kept the dragon and tried to run away with it, you didn't get very far. Which I figured would happen. They're a thieves guild. They were gonna track you down, which is why I went ahead and took the dragon to them. Even though it was so freaking cute, I wanted to keep it. And like, when you confronted all those cultists, and it's like, it's just you and, oh gosh, I blanked on their name. The devil woman. It's just the 2 of you against all these cultists. There was no way you were gonna win the fight, so that's why I ran. But if you tried to fight, you died. And then the actual heist is breaking into the manor. I just picked all the best options. Just because to me it just made sense. You don't want to draw attention to yourself, so you all break in the back. And there were clearly people upstairs. You didn't want to alert them to your presence, so you go downstairs. And plus, going downstairs, it makes sense that you'd hide anything you want to keep safe down there. And then, of course, when you're looking for traps, it's more important that you can actually walk on the floor without a problem. So that's why I went ahead and checked the floor. And then at the very end, I know there was a combination of options that resulted in you dying anyway, but I forget exactly what it was. But it's like, you don't know how long this fight is gonna last, so conserve your energy, do what you can, but try to, you don't know how long this is gonna be in terms of a fight. So that was my thinking there, and of course, I wanted to make sure that we could all survive the fight, so that's why I supported all my friends instead of trying to be the big damn hero. So I just happened to stumble on the right combination of answers. Oh, and talking to the city guard, actually telling them what's going on, gets you thrown in jail. So not necessarily a bad ending, but it doesn't work out. You don't die, but it's not a great ending either. And things don't work out. So that was the fun thing for me. So finding all the bad endings was really fun, and I enjoyed that. And then, of course, I did play through it with the other romances, and in the final fight, when the, I think she was supposed to be a succubus, mind-controlled, Zaneri? I'm blanking on her name. I have a character with a very similar name, so it's hard to remember what the name is. She actually tries to mind control whoever your love interest is. I haven't done it without romancing anyone, so I don't know how that works out. But like with Zaneri and Aura, they both get mind controlled with gosh, I forget his name. Your healer, he definitely tries to fight it off, but he doesn't succeed. And with, I think her name is Miri, she actually basically counterspells the mind control. So that's a fun little foretaste, but I definitely recommend downloading the game yourself and playing it. And if you can pay for it, please do. I have thoroughly enjoyed every game that this developer has put out. So I'm definitely planning on donating money once I actually have some to donate. But I'm very grateful that I can play them without paying for them at the moment, because I can't afford it right now. So anyway, with this one, I only opened it long enough to be able to set it up for recording, so I have not played this at all. So I'm going in fresh, which is just the way I like to do these. So start. What is your name? Oh, hitting me with the hardest question of all. A name. I should start keeping a list of names to use for this kind of stuff. Because I don't want to use the same names over and over and over again, because I end up writing fanfics. So, do I have anything written down? Either. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, okay. Pronouns. Oh, you know what? I know what name to pick. Oh, I can't go back. Really? Fine. Let's go back to the main menu and start again. Amber. She, her, because it's me. I always pick those pronouns first. It's been a long day of travel. With the road beneath my feet, I journey from village to village. I seek shelter from cold nights and work to purchase food. I've been traveling for months now, through autumn and winter. Oh, that's a sucky time to travel. Now, the snow is starting to melt and wet grass starting to sprout green again. Still, a cold wind whispered as I tightened my scarf. Like, this is perfect for this time of year. I mean, for me, where I live, it's already pretty warm. But I know there are places where there's still that bite of winter. I'm a hedge wizard with nowhere to call home. I know basic magic, simple tricks and spells I use to get by, but one day I'll be a great wizard with an arsenal of knowledge at my disposal. There's only so much one can learn while being stuck in one place. There is a world out there, and I've been exploring it all. Everywhere I go, I learn something new, but I never stay for long. Many villages hate having a mage in their midst, fearing I'm there to curse their crops or harm their families. That sounds familiar. I've done neither, never have, but I move on quickly anyway. Exhaustion sits heavy on my shoulders as I wander along a dirt path. Through the trees, I can see something in the distance. A tower with a blue shale roof that's covered in ivy. My eyes narrow as I stop in my tracks. What is this place? I know there's a small village nearby, some houses peeking over the tree line, but this tower is out of place. So this is the wrong peeking. This should be 2 E's instead of EA. I knock on the door. There's no response. Again, and nothing. Drawing a sigil in the air, I release a spell and unlock the door. Hello? Anyone home? My steps are cautious as I step inside. It's dirty, unkempt, and sad-looking. There are only a few pieces of furniture and plenty of books and things strewn about the floor. Everything is covered in a heavy layer of dust, and there are no footprints. I'm the first to be here in a long time. I grab a book and flip through it, then another as I investigate my surroundings. One is an herbalist journal of plants found in the area, and the other details research notes about magical creatures. I grab more and more books, setting them beside me on a small table. I perch in an old armchair. There are notes about different spells and schools of magic. I know for sure now, even if the outside wasn't obvious enough, this is a wizard's tower. I struck a jackpot here. There's so many things to study from whoever last owned this tower. Sorting the books, I get stacks of them organized as I flip through the first few pages to understand the premise of the book. Taking these with me would be life-changing. That's pretty much what I would do when I was researching for school. I would look at the beginning of each book just to get a feel for the topic and if it would be relevant at all for what I was trying to research. Don't mind stealing. I've never taken something I didn't need. I did at least remember to grab the dice. Now I need to find the D2. I have one in here. Where is it? I'm sure you can hear the... There it is. Hear the dice clacking against each other. Okay, so this is a D20, which is, or D2, which is basically has a 1 and a 20 on either side. So 120. Never taken something I didn't need. It's hard to travel as I do, and there have been many things I've done out of necessity. These books could be life-changing. I could learn so much from them. What happened to the wizard who used to live here? I wouldn't want to take their belongings if they're ever coming back. I look around the dilapidated state of the tower and figure it's unlikely they're ever going to return. Float another book towards me and I read through it. This one is all about the intersection of arcana and natural magic. I'm absorbed by all of this knowledge and I pour through it. This is the wrong pour. It should be P-O-R-E, not P-O-U-R. Because P-O-U-R is like when you're pouring water. I read for hours, barely making a dent in the stacks. What else could I find here? I'm sure I could find something truly amazing, an ancient secret that leads to powerful magic. That'd be me. When I get to reading, I ignore everything else. I only know I've fallen asleep because I startle awake the next morning. A book lays half open in my lap and my neck aches from the awkward position I slept in. Yawning and stretching, I rub my eyes. For months, I've only slept where I could find shelter. Many times, I was beneath a tree on the side of the road. If I got very lucky, I found a room at a tavern and get a warm meal. But my luck isn't usually that good. Being aside, away from the cold is nice, and I examined the fireplace. If I got some firewood, I could warm it up in here. Placing the book in a wobbly stack, I dust myself off. I need to find the most important ones, key tomes and journals with tons of useful information. I grab another and switch a photo of the pages in some type of arcane language I can't read. I curse, flipping through it. Damn, I need a way to translate this. I can't let such a find go to waste. The sound pulls me from my search, and my heart skips a beat. Has there been someone here? Is the wizard here, summoned by my rifling through their belongings? From the sound of it, they've only been looking at the books. The sound comes from down below me, and I cautiously make my way back to the front door and down the spiral staircase. There's a pane of glass, but it's sturdy and hard to see through. I unlatch the door and swing it open. And there's someone there? Orange hair like the colors of the dawn in a comfortable outfit. They offer me a bright smile.
Hi, are you the new wizard?
Whoa, hi! Did not expect a voice. What?
That's what old man Edmund said. He saw you head in the tower and he said there hasn't been a wizard here in ages.
Blinked, absorbing their words. How long ago was there a wizard here?
I don't know. Wouldn't you know that? Aren't wizards supposed to know everything?
No. I don't know how to reply to that until I see them grin.
Kidding! All I know is she was here way before I was born. Edmund said she used to help Littlewick. That's her village. Have you come to stay?
Glance behind me, even more books scattered on shelves and tables. I don't think I'll be here for long.
Oh, well, it'd be nice if you did. Spring's just around the corner, and I've heard the wizards are helpful for our community. You know spells that can help our plants grow or keep us safe?
What do you need to be kept safe from? They shrug.
Monsters in the woods that creep around in the dark, ready to strike if anything walks too deep into the forest.
I love this voice. Oh my gosh.
Nah, no monsters here.
Oh my gosh, they're so fun.
But still, we could use someone who knows about magic. And you be paid. Do you want gold?
They look over my shoulder into the dirty interior.
Or, consider this. I could help you clean up in there. It, looks like you could use this. And I'll bring you food and things you need.
I can work with that. That'd be perfect, actually. They light up.
Oh, I'm glad. I'll tell old man Edmund I'm returning with success.
I glance at the books. There are a few stacked up beside the door. If I stuck around, I'd have enough time to read them all. I'll stay until the end of the season. I can't promise beyond that.
Fair enough.
They hold out a hand.
I'm Miri, by the way. Really nice to meet you.
I shake their hand. It's very warm. I'm Amber.
Huh, I like it. I can come by tomorrow with cleaning supplies and we'll tackle the tower. Nothing like a good spring cleaning, right?
Yep, spring is the best time to clean. Gosh, they're so fun. They haven't even done anything to help your town yet.
So, you can't live in a place like this.
That's true.
Everyone deserves a nice place to live.
And you have the time to help me? They click their tongue and shuffle a foot against the ground.
I've got a lot of free time. I don't mind helping out.
A lot of free time. Why? They give me a friendly wave and head down the path. Mary stops suddenly and turns over their shoulder.
Do you have a favorite berry? Asking for a friend.
Are they gonna go home and make a pie? A strange question, but I think about it. Oh boy. I don't know. Let's see. D4. Where's the D4? I know I have a D4 in here. There it is. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Strawberry. Strawberries are good. I like strawberries. They grin.
See you around.
I watch them leave and shut the door. The question isn't the only strange thing. The whole interaction has me confused. I'm so used to being greeted with suspicion that Mary's friendliness shakes me up. Well, you're right. This tower could use a thorough cleaning, especially if I'm going to stay here for a few months. At the very least, I'll have a roof over my head and food to eat. And most importantly, plenty of time to study these books and find whatever the wizard before me has left behind. Swiping a finger along a shelf, it comes back dusty and gray. Sighing, I wipe my hand and go back to reading. I'll wait until tomorrow when Mary comes by. Right now, I have too much to study. It's me! When given a choice between books and cleaning, I read. Perching in the chair again, I dive into the research. I grab my journal and take down notes of everything I find. The next day arrives before I even realize it. I'm stiff and sore from sitting in that chair all night. The few books I skimmed are piled up beside me. take care of something. And put my phone on silent. There's a knock on the door, and this time I'm sure it's Miri. I get up with a small groan and head down the staircase.
Good morning. You look like you slept well?
They don't sound particularly convinced. I was up late reading.
Have you eaten anything yet?
I shake my head. I only have a few of my travel rations. There is a kitchen on one of the tower floors. I've been so absorbed in my studying that I haven't focused on anything else.
Here, I made these for you.
They hand me a carefully wrapped plate. There's a batch of muffins with strawberries. They smell delicious and my hunger kicks in. I knew it! I knew they were going to make something with whatever berry I chose. Miri grins and takes off the satchel. They dig around inside while I grab a muffin. It's delicious and warm, but not overly sweet. These are really good. They giggle as I talk with my mouth full, making it sound muffled. Cover my mouth swallowing before talking again. You didn't have to bring me this.
Yeah, but I wanted to. Someone's got to show you the hospitality of Littlewick.
Aww. Have you lived in the village for long? They place their hands on their hips and pull out a few things to clean with.
Yeah, I was born here. Do you know where the broom is?
They start searching for the broom instead of answering my question. Honestly, I haven't noticed anything that isn't a book. Miri searches and eventually finds it tucked away in a corner.
Aha! You keep eating. You look like you could use it. I'll get started downstairs.
You don't have to do everything by hand. I can use magic to help.
I don't mind. It gives me something to do, and it's a good way to keep in shape.
That's fair. They head downstairs while I stuff my face with muffins. They're right. I am hungry. Once I'm done eating, I meet them downstairs. They swept the stairs and much of the floor, brushing it outside. It's nice with the door open as it lets in fresh air. Birds chirp in the distance.
So, where are you from?
I start helping by cleaning off the surfaces around me and getting things organized. I'm not really from anywhere. I've been traveling for as long as I can remember.
Even when you were a kid?
Even then, we moved a lot, selling little things we collected or made to buy food. They rest their weight on the broom.
Doesn't that get lonely? Always being on the road? Never stopping to make a home?
Okay. DQ time. 120. When? I don't mind. I shrug. It's never bothered me. That's just how life is. You go somewhere new, learn what you can, then off to the next place.
What about friends? Do you stay in contact with friends you made and left behind?
I'm not around long enough to make any that would bother to write me a letter. Not that they could ever find me anyway.
That's sad.
I don't mind it. I'll go back to cleaning. There's a cabinet full of dishes and I use a water spell to start cleaning them. Miri stops sweeping and watches in amazement. What?
Nothing, just I've never seen magic before. I thought wizards slung fireballs around and created lightning to fight dragons. Have you fought a dragon?
Ha, definitely not. It would eat me alive. I'm not a lightning and fire kind of wizard. My magic is simple, but there are a lot of magical tomes in here. I'm sure I could find something in this tower that could help me face a dragon and win. Showing off, I cast a spell that dusts off the tablecloth before gently draping itself over the dining table. Despite its simplicity, Miri is enraptured.
That's incredible.
They glance at the broom and realize they've been just standing there in awe. They quickly go back to cleaning. We work quickly together with a bit of magic, we begin to tidy the place up. There are cupboards full of dishware, and I examine each one and mend the cracks. The wizard must have had lots of guests over.
I asked Edmund about her. He said that people were always coming in and out of the tower when he was a young boy. He only knew her for a few years when he was really little.
What happened to her?
He said she just left. Packed up one day and vanished. Didn't even say goodbye. The wind swept her away.
She left so much behind. What could have compelled her to leave like that? But she found something. Something she sought to claim for herself. Whatever it is, maybe it's still, and I have to find it too. Still what? Still out there? Amber? They gestured to my hands and realized I'd been mending the same plate over and over again. The pattern along the edge has spread across the entire plate, covering it in tiny flowers. I stopped the spell and set it aside. Head up a level and tackle the living room. Miri sweeps, moving with the broom like a dance.
You don't have a fancy magic spell that makes music, do you? That'll make this easier.
Oh, like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down? I'm not that kind of wizard either, I'm afraid. They hum instead, a cheerful sound as they shake up the curtains. clean off the bookshelves and flip books over from their sorted piles and add them to the shelves in order. Miri glances over their shoulder and watches in approval.
You make a good librarian if you ever want to retire from this wizard business. Maybe that's where the old wizard went off to in such a rush, to open her own library.
Oh god, the more I talk to Miri, the more I like them.
She probably would have taken all her books with her, though. It'd be nice if we had a library in Littlewick.
Do you like to read?
A little. I don't think I'd be fond of these.
They crack one open to prove their point, gesturing to the dense and complicated arcane text.
Could be fun for me to learn how to shoot ice from my fingertips.
They show me their moves, thrusting their hands out as if casting a powerful spell with a laugh. Your form might need a little work, but you have the enthusiasm down.
How does one become a wizard anyway?
Years of study, practice, trial and error. It helps if you have magical blood to begin with. Yeah, I know in Dungeons and Dragons there's wizards learn spells, while sorcerers are born with magical abilities. So, but obviously at this rate, that might just combine the two types of magic. Or you also, warlocks make a pact with someone.
Do you?
I do. My family were wizards as well. That's where I got my first lessons. Mary tackles the fireplace next, using the broom to sweep the nooks and crannies. I gasp and I whip my head around.
What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that?
Wielding the broom like a weapon, they hold it shakily in front of them. I rush over and stand between them and the fireplace. I crouch down to peer inside. What did you see?
I don't know. Something was moving.
Oh my god. I take a closer look and amongst the old soot and ash, little creatures are moving around like little dark spheres with big round eyes. They squeak and look up at us while hopping up and down. It sends Soot flying. I let out a sigh of relief. It's fine, they're not going to hurt you. One jumps up onto my hand and looks at me with big eyes. Wisps of magic swirl around it. Miriam peers over my shoulder.
What is that?
An elemental. They form in places of powerful magic. These guys are pretty tiny and not harmful. The wizard must have used lots of magic around the fireplace and they rose from the ashes and soot left behind.
Okay, it's kind of cute. Much less scary than I thought.
I kind of reminds me of the little creatures from Spirited Away. I forget what they're called. It squeaks again and hops off my hands to run around the fireplace with its friends. Only problem is how to get rid of them. They'll track Soot all around the house if they run free.
Can they just live in the fireplace when it's on?
They could. They'd probably love that.
Have they been here alone all these years?
Well, they have each other, but they're not like you or me. They don't have sentience. No, we're not going to destroy them. We're going to leave them alone. Miriam crouches down and reaches out their hand. One runs up their fingers, leaving their hand covered in ash. When it hops down, they wipe their hands clean with a cleaning rag.
Oh, just leave them be. Is a little Soot that much of a problem?
I suppose not. The Soot elemental squeak and settle in the fireplace.
There's plenty of firewood around here. I'll bring some by tomorrow.
That'd be helpful, thank you. It gets cold at night. We head upstairs to another room in the tower. This must have been the wizard's bedroom, and it's fallen into the same state of disrepair. Miri tucks the bed sheets, brushing aside a layer of dust.
Wait, you didn't sleep here last night?
No, I slept in the chair downstairs. They put their hands on their hips and frown at me.
Why? This is a perfectly good bed.
I didn't even know this was here. I didn't look around much.
You didn't look? You're in a wizard's tower and you haven't even explored it? You sleep all cramped up and you've barely eaten anything? What have you been doing?
Reading. I told you, reading. There we go. They click their tongues, shaking their head.
Well, we're gonna fix this place up and make it nice for you to live in.
What does it matter? I've slept in far worse places, usually outside. I'm just grateful for a roof over my head.
Because you deserve to have a comfortable place to sleep, food to eat, and a fire to keep you warm. Everyone does.
Yes, yes. Sighing, they open up the windows and let fresh air in. They sweep all of the dust out. I find a few things tucked away in cupboards. Extra blankets and pillows were set up around the room. Crouching to check beneath the bed, there's a small box. I pry it open with a magic spell and pull out a locket. Mary peers over my shoulder.
That's beautiful. Is it magical? It looks magical.
I carefully examine it. I trace a sigil in the air and cast a spell to see if it has a magical signature. I think it is, but the enchantment has gone weak.
Do you know what it was?
Some type of protection spell. I can't get it open. I try and wedge it open and then use the spell. The magic just shatters against it.
Maybe the enchantment hasn't faded that much.
I set it aside for later when I can dig into it. We spend the day cleaning up, and with Miri's dedication and my magic, we make good progress. When they're ready to go home, they offer me a smile.
You can come over for dinner if you want. They're making soup.
Oh. I shuffle where I stand. No, I don't want to impose.
You wouldn't be.
Thank you, but I better not. I still have those muffins you made me.
That's not really dinner. Well, if you're sure, but you're welcome anytime, okay?
They give me a last wave and I watch them leave before closing the door. It's a nice offer, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. I know I promised that I'd stay in town for a bit, but I like my solitude. Having them in my house today was more than enough social interaction for me. Baby steps. Baby steps. I head back to the bedroom and collapse on the bed. Miri's right. It is nice. I reach over to the bedside table and flip the locket over. I turn it around my hand. What secrets do you hold? Doesn't answer and I fall into a deep sleep. Miri returns the next day to help me clean some more, reorganize the place and make it feel tidy and comfortable.
Oh, before I forget, Old Man Edmund has a favor to ask.
Is that really his name? Old Man Edmund?
It has been for as long as I remember. Even when I was a kid, he was called the Old Man. Now he's in his 80s? 90s?
Wow, that is, considering I'm assuming this is like generic, D&D, fantasy medieval period. That's pretty good. That's pretty old. The name makes sense.
Right? Anyway, he asked if you had anything for his hands.
They hold out their own to demonstrate.
They've been cracked and dry all winter, and they get that way whenever we go long periods without rain. Are you an herbalist? Do you know how to make things like that?
With the right ingredients, yes. A simple herbal balm would be enough to soothe the skin.
I know he'd appreciate it. What do you need to make it?
Most of the stuff I already have here. I need tenacity? It's an herb that grows in forested areas.
I've never heard of that, but I do know the woods pretty well. How about we check there?
We?
Well, I can help you. Many hands make short work, right? What does it look like?
Green and leafy?
Helpful.
I know, right? Close my eyes for a second and hold out my hand. Dancing on my fingertips is an image of an herb. It has little green leaves over a short stem that tapers off at the end. Miri's eyes grew wide.
Wow.
It's a simple spell, but there's still a maze. Many people are fascinated with magic, I found. I used to run tricks and illusions on street corners for a few coins, but many are also suspicious. This is a nice break from that. Let's go find it. Miri leads me outside, boots crunching in the snow. They shiver and rub their hands together.
Oh, wish I brushed my scarf. I'm so tired of this cold weather.
Let's cast a spell to warm them. I wave a hand over them, casting a spell. Instantly their clothes and body warm. They look down, watching the tendrils of magic encircle them. That should be an E, not an I.
Oh, thank you.
It's warmer in the forest. The sunlight breaks through the trees. I've studied enough arcana to recognize magic-touched areas. I trace my fingertips against a tree, rough bark grating against my touch. I think the wizard who lived here left more than a few parting gifts. This place is full of magic.
It is? It looks normal to me.
I can feel it. The leaves rustle in the wind and birds chirp. The air smells sweet and clean, and I take a deep breath of it all. Miri kneels in the dirt and searches through the plants and flowers. They pluck one and hold it out.
I know this isn't the herb you're looking for, but what if we brought a few of these back for the tower? It spruces the place up.
That's a good idea, especially since many of these are enchanted.
Enchanted with what?
When there's a lot of powerful magic performed in a space, over time the environment reacts to it. These plants absorb that magic, making them hardier. It's useful for spell components and potion ingredients. I kneel with them and search for tenacity. Looking over each plant, they're drawn towards my hand, leaning towards my touch. Maybe they can sense my magical presence, too. Last night when you were leaving, you mentioned that you lived with someone else?
Oh, yeah. Moved back in with my parents.
Back in?
It's just more convenient, you know? We're all looking out for each other, helping out where we can. I don't mind it. Most people do the same in Littlewick. It's a real small town. Old Man Edmund has his children, their children, and his great-grandchildren to help. They have the biggest house in town.
They need the biggest house with that many people. They breezed past my question, and I decided not to push it, and instead focus on the task at hand.
Oh, is this it?
They hold up a plant that looks similar to tenacity, but I shake my head. No, the leaves are the wrong shape. That's more pointy than it should be.
How do you even remember all of this?
I take lots of notes and keep up with my studies. I have a good memory. We continue searching until I eventually find what we're looking for. Aha! Here it is. I grab a handful. I can make that remedy now.
Perfect. I guess I wasn't that much help.
Of course we're gonna flirt. Flirt. You were. You're good company. Okay, so actually we're gonna save it here just because. You were. You're good company.
Really? Oh, thank you. You are too.
I don't know about that.
You are. Look at all the things I'm learning.
They give me a bright smile. Mary holds up a few flowers.
At the very least, I have these for your tower.
I don't know if it's my tower yet.
Why not? You're living there. It's a wizard's tower and you're a wizard.
That's fair. We'll see. We head back inside the tower.
Can I watch while you make it?
Yeah, but it's not very interesting.
It is to me.
They take a seat as I set up what I need. I divide the ingredients into little piles, grinding some up in an old mortar and pestle. I mix them as per the recipe, carefully measuring each one out and adding it in. I stir, sparks of magic swirling inside to finish it. I pour in a pitcher of clear, cool water and it comes to a rest. It needs some time to sit, but he can use it as a balm to heal his hands and keep them soft. This should last him until next winter.
He'll be so grateful. Do you want me to take you to him so you can deliver it?
I hand them the container instead. Do you mind dropping it off? They take it with a nod.
Yeah, I can do that. Do you not like going to town? You were in the woods just fine, right?
I don't like crowds, and he said so many people lived at his house.
I get it. Yeah, I can deliver it, no problem. Oh, here are all the flowers and stuff I picked. I set them aside over there.
I can use magic to transplant them here.
I can come by tomorrow and help you finish cleaning.
You're not busy?
There's not a lot to do in Little Wick.
Then yeah, I could use your help.
I'll see you then.
As they promised, Mary returns and we do a deep clean of the tower. We pull out various items that had been tucked away and plant flowers all over it. I use magic to help them take root. Mary even brings a few things over to help decorate and make it cozy. Old Man Edmund sends over blankets that his wife had made and thanks for the herbal balm. Wow, just look at that change. So here's bare bones. And now it looks so much more lived in. So much more inviting. I love it. That's awesome. When we're done, I step back to take in our handiwork. It's brighter with the natural light coming through the now clean windows. The air smells sweet and it's starting to look like a home. But I want to be here as long as I need to be. I still pour P-O-R-E, not P-O-U-R, over the books every night and learn something new each time. My journal is already filled to the brim full of notes. The locket still intrigues me. I've tried unlocking and dispelling spells to open it, but nothing works. I set it aside for when I finally strike on something that might work. I'm pulled from my reading again. This is becoming a habit when there's a knock at the door.
Hey, I made you this.
They're carrying a large loaf of freshly baked bread and set it down. In this past week, they've brought over plenty of food and ingredients so I can make a proper meal each night. Thank you, but you don't need to keep feeding me. They shrug and dust off their hands.
It's no worry. Hey, it's still warm if you want some now.
I do. I haven't had breakfast yet, and when I come to the bread, it's soft and delicious.
I used to be a baker, so it's a nice excuse to make things for someone again.
Yay. Used to?
Oh, I've been baking for as long as I can remember. But I haven't done much recently. Having someone around who enjoys it helps me get inspired.
Aww. They brush aside the question and push on.
So, there's this lady in town. Her name is Amaya, and she was wondering, after what you did for Edmund, she wanted to know if you could help her.
Yeah, I can make that tincture easily again. I still have tenacity.
Oh, sorry, not about that. Do you know any spells or magic stuff to help with her garden? The ground is thawing, so she wants to start planting.
There's a potion she can pour into the soil to enrich it. It'll help the plants grow faster.
That's perfect. Oh, and she offered to make you clothes in return.
I glanced down at what I'm wearing. I don't own much in terms of clothing. I could probably use some new ones. Yeah, I can do that. Mary sits and watches while I pull out the stuff I need.
Are you going to use a cauldron?
No, just a small kettle will do.
A cauldron is way more fun. Maybe Amaya can make you a pointy hat.
They draw their fingers through the air to illustrate a triangle-shaped hat with a wide brim.
But you're not that kind of wizard either, right?
I don't think anyone is that kind of wizard except those in children's stories.
You could be the first.
They laugh as I prepare my ingredients, chopping up a root whip into workable pieces. Despite the mundane task, Mary watches with fascination. Ask for help. Do you want to help? Their eyes light up and they nod quickly.
What do you need me to do?
Just keep stirring while I add everything in, alright? They get right to work, their hands steady.
I'm used to stirring, at least with all the baking I do.
I grab some golden rosemary, something I foraged out in the woods. I crush it into a fine powder and sprinkle it in. It's potent for potions like this. The pot begins to boil, the low flame beneath it flickering. I cast magic into it by tracing a sigil through the water with a wooden spoon. It turns bright green before paling. Scoop it into a glass bottle and cork it, giving it a good shake. You can give this to her, just tell her to pour a little into the soil. It doesn't take much. Mary carefully takes it and gestures to the liquid that remains in the pot.
You got a lot left over. What are you going to do with it?
I give it another stir. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, why don't you use it for yourself? You've got space for a garden out front. You can plant potion ingredients and even get some fruits and veggies going.
That's not a bad idea. Mary nods and grasps the potion bottle.
I'll deliver this to Amaya. Since it's so warm out, why don't we get started? We can at least clear the snow and weeds away.
Are you sure you want to do this? You've helped me plenty already.
I told you, if you're gonna stay here, you deserve a home that's comfortable to live in. It's no trouble. And I promise if you're gonna help people in town, I'd be around to help you out.
That's true. They hold up the bottle.
Case in point.
They leave to drop off the potion while I prepare. I grab a large basket and some old gardening gloves that I clean off with a spell. The snow has melted and drops of water drip down the doorway. I take a deep breath of fresh air and start to plan out where we can set up the garden, using magic to clear the last of the snow. There are a few things I've collected from the woods in my travels. I use this spell to transform the plants back into seeds. When Mary returns, they have a few seeds as well.
Bought them from the market in town. Figured you could use them.
They grab a trowel and start digging in the dirt to clear out the area. They get right in, not minding the mud on their knees. I do the same, only manipulating a spade with magic instead. Mary glances at the floating spade and laughs.
Cheater.
They shake their head and continue to work, covering the seeds back up. We separate the flowers from the herbs and the magical ingredients. We put the fruits and vegetables in a different area as well. I recall from reading that certain crops grow better when placed next to each other and try to lay them out in a cohesive way. Wisps of magic begin to swirl around our ankles. I run my fingers through it and it reacts to my touch by brightening. Little glowing lights like fireflies begin to twinkle around our heads.
What are these things?
Nature sprites drawn to the magic of the tower.
Are they okay with us doing this?
I nod and a few float toward them. They smile, holding up a hand as they land across their freckled arms. I think they like it. Look. They float to some of the places we planted, their magic seeping into the ground. They're helping. I pour the remnants of the growing potion I made, a little in every spot. The magic fizzles, bubbling in the dirt before it settles. The sprites circle one path, encouraging the flowers to grow. Tiny green stems shoot from the earth, growing rapidly until there's a bundle of flowers that they fly over to Miri. They beam and hold it to their chest, tracing the petals.
They're beautiful. Thank you.
Sprites light up, twirling around them with a soft glow. I think they like you. The flower petals are pulled by the wind and dance around them. They meet my gaze, their eyes warm. I think they like you.
You think so? I like them too.
They pluck one of the flowers and hand it to me. I twirl the blossom between my fingers. It smells sweet, the fragrance filling the air. I quietly think that the flowers are not the only beautiful thing. Me. And this is why I'm flirting.
I think we did good work today. Now, where did that watering can go?
They brush the dirt off their clothes and search. They grab the can and sprinkle it all over the plants, the dirt growing dark with the water. Miri is very careful not to trample anything. I take a look at what we've accomplished. Everything should go quickly with the potion's help. which is good considering I'll only be here until the end of spring. I can gather all these ingredients and then move on. I'm itching to get back to the tower and continue my reading now that we're done.
Hey, you okay?
They notice I spaced out and it's my arm. I jump at the contact. What? What? Yeah, I'm fine. I should start my studies again. Mary nods.
And now you're all set up in your tower. It's a proper home now. I'm glad I could help.
They fiddle with their necklace.
I'll let you know what Amaya thinks of the potion, and deliver any clothes she sends your way, unless you'd rather get them yourself. She's really nice, her kids are cute.
You can do it. I think I'd rather stay in my tower. The roofs of Little would peek over the trees. It's been nice to stay in a place without having to worry about anyone else. I don't know what people think of having a mage in their tower, and I'm not sure I'm ready to find out. Bronze Peak again. It should be P-E-E-K. It's a P-A-K. Not key. K. Brain, please. You're drunk. Mary leaves with a cheery wave and I head back inside. I grab another book and find my armchair. This time, however, I read about the care of magical plants and research how best to tend to this little garden we've made. That's sweet. Over the next few days, I continue studying. I work through an entire shelf, choosing what books to skim and what to spend time on. Each book speaks of the history of ancient arcane civilizations and all the ruins and secrets left behind. Maybe the wizard left to seek one of these ancient artifacts? I study the locket some more, soaking it in a potion, using an enchanted blade. Nothing. It won't open. Miri drops off the thanks and a knitted scarf from Amaya. I'm told the growing potion is working well, and she also gave me a little basket of yarn and knitting needles. It smells faintly of perfume. I take up knitting. To my surprise, there's a book about knitting in the tower. Maybe the wizard was a fan? And perhaps the books appear when you need them. I was just thinking that! Before I got to that line, I was thinking that. Maybe the tower just conjures the books that you need. The tower is full of magic. It's heavy in the air. Ever since we've cleaned up, it's felt happier. After a long day of reading, I start to doze off. I make a valiant attempt at my first knitted creation. Probably a blanket? As of now, it's a vaguely misshapen rectangle. I love that. I know I should go up to bed. Mary would tell me that. There's a soft pillow on the chair, and I pull it behind my head. Grab the blanket that's draped over the back of the chair and take it over myself. My head feels heavy, and I close my eyes. There's a sound that jolts me awake. I fling the blanket off of me, and I cast a spell to summon a little light that floats above my palm. My heart is pounding as I get to my feet. Did a stack of books fall over? Searching the room, I take a few careful steps. In the corner, there's a little footstool, and a shadow moves behind it. The light from the fireplace makes it look enormous. I know a few spells to defend myself, but it's far from my specialty. I hold out my hand and brace myself. I locked the front door, didn't I? Who's there? There's a small answering sound and the shadow lunges. I jump back with a gasp, casting the light even brighter, hoping to distract whatever it is. Only now, I can't see anything either. Blinking hard and flung back onto the floor, I see the beast. A cat is sitting on top of the footstool, licking his paw. Tilts his head at me and meows at me. I was thinking it was like a dog or a cat. I knew it wasn't something really threatening. Where did you come from? I lower the light and step up to the cat. I hold out a hand and it sniffs it to assess me. It meows again and jumps down to whine between my legs, headbutting my calf. How long have you been here? How did you get in? Have you been here the whole time? What have you been eating? It's a cat. It can't answer. I have so many questions, but it's not answered beyond whacking his tail against my leg. I realize that despite the conditions of the tower, I've run into no mice. Maybe it's this cat's handiwork? I kneel beside it and it rubs against my hand. I feel a spark of magic, something that feels like the tower. Huh. I pet it and it leans into my touch, dragging its cheek against the palm of my hand. Are you missing your owner? It blinks, yawns, and then jumps back up onto the footstool. Maybe there's a spell here to teach me to talk to animals. I look around the piles of books. I doubt I'd be so lucky. Still exhausted and now armed with the knowledge that there are no horrible beasts ready to eat me, I'm going to bed. You can stay here if you want. It licks its paw and then rubs its ear. I get a distinct feeling that even if it could understand me, it would do whatever it wanted anyway. That's cats for you! Mary doesn't come by the next day. I realize I have no way to contact them. I want to ask them about the cat, but I don't even know their address. So I scrounge around to see what I have to feed it. It doesn't beg for food or anything, nor look hungry or distressed. I assume it takes care of itself quite well, especially if it's been in this place long before me. I fill a bowl of water and leave it out. Eventually it takes a drink. I'm no animal expert, but its coat looks healthy with no wear or tear, and it's in a good mood, following me from room to room and watching me. I try my hand at knitting again. I try a spell to do it while I read. The needles clack rhythmically beside me, a comforting sound that helps me focus. But when I turn to look at the progress, I see that it's just been doing the same line over and over again, making a messy bundle of yarn. I curse, trying to detangle it. The cat comes over and starts attacking the loose hanging strings, and I yank them away from it. Cat owner problems. Mary eventually swings by to check on me and brings another loaf of fresh bread. The other one, it's nothing but crumbs. This one is a rustic bake in a circle filled with cheese and onions.
Morning! Oh, you have a friend!
They beam, handing me the bread before turning their full attention to the cat, who's run down the stairs behind me. He is immediately lavished in pets and sweet cooing words from Mary.
Hi, sweetie! Oh, you're adorable! When did you get them?
He just showed up one night. Maybe he's been here the whole time.
Wouldn't we have seen him when we were cleaning?
They scratched beneath his chin. Maybe he didn't want to be found, or do you know of anyone in Littlewick who is missing a cat?
Well, not that I know of, and that news spreads fast. I can ask around, but I've never seen him before, if that counts for anything.
The cat headbutts their hand and they're beaming.
What's his name?
I don't know. He's not my cat.
I think he is now. Where else is he gonna go? Is he eating alright and getting enough water? Does he have things to play with?
He's been playing with my knitting yarn. He looks up at me with big eyes. There's something strange about him. Something magical.
That's strange?
Maybe not. Okay. I don't know if people are aware of this, but we've had a cat at least one cat almost all my life. Like, there was one time we didn't have a cat, and when we didn't have a cat, we did have a dog. So we've always had at least one pet. So, picking this one. He meows at me and I kneel to stroke his head. He's a nice addition. He's very well behaved, and I think he's kept the mice away. I can't help but smile as I scratch behind his ears.
If he's gonna stick around, he should have a name. What, are you gonna call him with your kitty kitty forever?
Name that cat. Oh, man. This is even harder. I am tempted to go with Cosmic Creepus just because I love Beds, Knots, and Broomsticks. No, we're gonna go with Kiwi. How about Kiwi? He meows at me again and I take that as a yes. I played Dragon Age. It took me several false starts before I actually finished. But the first time I was able to name a dog, I named it Danto, after the character from Torchwood. A few days later, I wake to a frantic knocking at the door. I stumble out of bed and head downstairs, bracing a hand against the wall while on the spiraling staircase. Keely barrels right into me, rushing down in front of me.
Hey, it's urgent!
I hit the last step and send a burst of magic to fling the door open. Mary is holding a young man upright, his arms slung over their shoulder, and they hobble in. What happened? Nothing, I keep telling you, I'm fine. He looks a dark glance at Mary.
He was out patrolling the woods, and then he tripped and hurt his leg real bad.
It's fine. I don't need some wizard giving me a frog leg.
Hey, be nice. She can help you, won't you?
They glance at me pleadingly. Sit down. The man sighs and Mary helps him into a seat. You don't need to get so involved, Mary. I was fine on my own. They cross their arms, standing out of my way as I examine his legs. There's a rip in his pant leg where I can see a cut across his knee. It's not deep, certainly not life-threatening, but still could use treatment.
He hurt his ankle, too.
He sighs between clenched teeth. What were you doing out in the woods? I patrol it, keep it safe from danger. He puffs out his chest in a valiant effort to ignore the pain, but a bead of sweat gathers at his hairline. I glance over at Miri, who shrugs.
There's hardly anything worth reporting in the woods, but Tavin insists anyway.
He scowls. At least I have something to do. At least I'm helping Littlewick. You just ran away. Miri falls quiet. I don't know what he means by that, but I do know he's... I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be he's the patient that's in pain? Or this is a patient in pain? I need to clean your wound out, and I'll use a spell to help your ankle. He doesn't look too happy about that last part, but stiffly nods. Getting access to the wound, I use a wet cloth to gently wipe away the dirt and the dried blood. Once it's cleaned, it shows how small it is. Searching my cabinets, I find a few ingredients to make a healing balm. I crush up life's tongue petals, a flower that I have grown in several parts of the tower because of its healing properties. I make a paste. What is that? Something to help you heal. Is it going to hurt me? And there's the suspicion of wizards. No, but it might sting a little. He braces in anticipation as I spread a thin layer across the cut. Tavon flinches and I urge him to hold still. Before our eyes, a magical remedy seeps into his skin. A scab forms over the wound. He stares at it in shock. It worked? And it's not going to do anything to me?
What's that possibly gonna do to you? Turn you green?
I don't know how magic works.
Yeah, but she does. How would you trust her?
He gives me a wary look but allows me to continue. I flip through a book about healing magic and find the page I need. Setting it up on the table, I start reciting the incantation. He winces, squeezing his eyes shut as if I'm about to incinerate him. Relax, I'm not going to hurt you. Just calm down. It's not going to hurt. I'm not here to hurt you. I attempt to soothe him and it seems to work. His shoulders relax and he allows me to do my spell. I finish the spell and magic swirls around his leg. His jaw tightens and then relaxes when his ankle is put back into place. Tavon examines his leg, looks at the scab, and twists his ankle around with wide eyes. How did you even do that?
I told you she could fix it.
I shut the book with a heavy thud and Tavon glances me up and down. Well, thanks. So what do I owe you? Mary said you don't take gold, so I give you what? My soul? What has this man been told about mages? But unfortunately, this reaction isn't that uncommon. Some people don't like what they don't understand. That is so true. You don't owe me anything. You were injured. I'm not going to charge you. He scratches the back of his neck and hops off the chair. Well, I'll see you around, I guess, or not since you never come into town. He gives me a nod and leaves without another word. Miri watches him go. How do you know that guy?
Littlewick's a small town. I know everybody. But Tav and I grew up together. He's only a few years younger. He fancies himself the town's protector, not that it needs one. Even when he was little, he was always getting hurt. Skin knees, falling out of trees, that kind of thing. And I would always be the one to drag him back home.
What was he saying about you running away?
Oh, yeah. I left Littlewick a couple years ago. I think he's just upset I got out before he did. If not, he's doing a terrible job at showing how much he missed me.
That's true. Their cheery attitude deflates and they rock back on their heels.
Thank you for helping him. If you need anything in repayment, please let me know.
You've done a lot already. They nod and Keely comes up to them, meowing until he crouches down and pet him.
I'll let you get back to your day. Just know that you're appreciated, even if he doesn't show it.
They give Keely one last pet before heading out the door. I clean up, about to file the book back on the shelf. Instead, I crack it open. Okay, I didn't explain why I picked Keely for the cat's name, but we have 2 cats right now, and one of them my sibling named, and he's a butter tabby with yellow gold eyes, and my sibling named him Feely. Our other cat is a gray tabby, and we named him Shadow. So I'm naming this cat Keely, sort of in honor of my sibling. I take a seat and give it a proper read to study more about healing spells. They've never been my specialty, but they're very useful. I spend the rest of the day curled up on the chair, Keely in my lap with a book in hand. That was how I wanted to spend my days when I was little before the internet. I worked through several more ancient tomes over the next couple of days. Many of them had old knowledge of magic from long ago that was lost when the old kingdoms fell. I didn't even notice this before, but the bedrooms changed too. Before it was just a chair and empty bookcase and a bed, and now look at it. I love this this progression of how the tower looks now that it's being lived in again. There are things I'd never heard of. Monsters and feasts of magic or feats of magic. I think this first S here shouldn't be there. I can't even comprehend. Keeley comes and goes as he pleases. Sometimes he sits with me, other times I don't see him until bedtime when I see his eyes watching me in the dark. That seems pretty typical of cats, especially if he's got a whole tower to keep free of mice. That can be a very demanding job, especially for one cat. There's an old cat bed that I found and set it beside my bed. He spends his nights there. He's an odd thing, and I haven't forgotten that spark of magic when I first touched him. Yeah, I tried giving my cat a cat bed, and he just destroyed it. Not deliberately, but he just basically clawed it to death. It just didn't work. And so we just gave up on giving him a cat bed. Curiously, he jumped on the nightstand once and tried to knock the locket on the floor. At first I had wrenched it away from him protectively, but realizing he might have answers. But when I held it out to him, he just started to bat at it like it was a toy. It's been raining the past day and doesn't seem to be clearing soon. Plants need it, but I haven't been able to get any fresh air. That's fine with me. I spent all this time pouring through books. Again, P-O-R-I-N-G, not you. No you. It's pouring rain. You can't pouring books. Doesn't work. Well, I mean it does. It's just painful. I'm so absorbed in one that talks about different alchemical transmutations I don't even hear the knock at the door. It's not until Keeley starts meowing loudly at me and scampers down the stairs that I realize something is up. When I open the front door, Miri is standing there in the rain, hair plastered to their forehead.
Oh, I was worried you already fell asleep. I was gonna head home.
What are you doing out in the rain? They just shrug, wringing their hair out before they step inside.
It doesn't bother me. Littlewick is always rainy this time of year.
They dismiss it, but are still shivering.
I was worried about you.
About me?
Well, yeah, I don't know how you do in the rain. I know not everyone likes gray skies. I thought I'd bring something to cheer you up.
They pull out a small basket they've kept dry. Honestly, I barely noticed the rain except for the sound on the roof. I don't think that's supposed to capitalize, so preoccupied with my reading that it escaped my notice. But now that I'm up and thinking about it, I feel the weirdness settle over me. Miriam unwraps the basket and pulls out a plate of fresh baked cookies. My stomach rumbles. Why are you doing all of this? I've asked them before, but I press it again. I don't give you anything in return. You've helped me clean the house, you bring me food, and you're always checking up on me to make sure I'm okay. All of what I've done has been for others, some that don't even appreciate you. Isn't there something you want? They chew on their lip, placing a hand on both hips.
Because I wish someone had done this for me.
Say what? What do you mean? They settle into a chair, sliding the plate of cookies over to me. I take one. It's warm and sweet and melts on my tongue. Mary still looks cold, rubbing their hands against the warmth of the fire. This seems like a good place to save. Cast a spell to dry them off. It's a quick spell, a few muttered words, and then released. A wave of warmth hits them, drying their hair and clothes. They glance down at their shirt and look at me with wide eyes.
Thank you. See, how can I not want to swing by when you do nice things like that?
They pull a blanket from around themselves and watch the flames. Keeley jumps up on their lap and they scratch behind his ears.
Hey, kitty.
The fireplace crackles and plumes of smoke rise from the chimney. Within, the little suit sprites spring around. One looks out at Mary with his big eyes, and they manage to smile and wave at it. I look at them expectantly and they sigh.
When I lived in the city, I was completely alone. I wanted out of Littlewick so bad. I felt like there was so much more to life out there and I wanted to experience it. To spread my wings and leave the nest.
They grab a cookie and split it apart, taking a small bite.
I wanted to be a baker. I saved up money and moved out west to the big city. I bought a small shop, turned it into the bakery of my dreams, and lived in the apartment above. It felt amazing to be doing something with my life. Most of all, I got to make people happy. To see their smiles when they bought what I made. But it was hard. I didn't know anyone. There was no one to turn to when things got rough. The apartment I lived in was in terrible shape, drafty and freezing at night. It got even worse when winter rolled around. I tried to clean it, but You can't clean up a whole city. I miss the fresh air of the country, and
They bring their hands together.
I miss my family and all the people here. But if I went back, it meant that I had failed. I did my best to keep the bakery running, I really did. Then winter hit. Things took a downturn citywide and people stopped coming by. No one could afford it. Gone were the happy faces and sweet conversations and the chance to make someone's day better with a treat. It was just empty. I couldn't pay rent. I had to close the shop. I couldn't even afford firewood to keep warm.
They let out a long breath and stared out the window, raindrops raining down the glass.
So I moved back to Littlewick. I had barely lasted a year before crawling back with my tail between my legs. All my talk about big dreams and aspirations and making something of myself in the city all came crashing down. And now I can't even go back to how it was before. I've changed and people can't see that. I'm scared they still look at me like the kid who failed. I'm all grown up and they can't see it. That's why it's so easy to talk to you. Because you didn't know me as a kid. You didn't know how I failed. I guess you do now, huh? But it's nice to have someone new around who doesn't have all the history. And I never want anyone to go through what I did. Everyone deserves a nice home to live in and someone to check up on them. I want to be the person I wish I had in my life back then.
That's a good thing, by the way, that reaction.
And you inspired me to start baking again. I think everyone here is tired of it.
You cram another cookie into their mouth to stop talking. You take a moment to process everything they told me and take another cookie. Kiwi is purring and snuggles in closer to Miri. Of course you're gonna flirt. I'm proud of you. You shouldn't feel bad. They glance up at me, surprised. Yes, you tried and it didn't work out, but you tried. You made an effort, and for a little time, you got to make people happy. And you still are. I hold up the plate of cookies. You make me happy, not just from your baking, but by being around you. I'm sorry about what you went through. I wish you had a support system to rely on. But those things were out of control, and it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You should be proud you followed your dreams. People like Taegon, he's just upset because he never even tried. He's jealous.
You're gonna make me cry.
But they're being a little shy and pink in the cheeks, but happy. They let out a sigh and pulled the blanket tighter around them.
So there. Now you know.
The raindrops cling to the window pane, starting their journey from the top, and then joining together halfway down. The steady patter hits the rooftop, and the crackle of the fire are the only sounds. The flames send dancing shadows against the wall.
I should probably get going.
They're still pouring out. It would be rude to send them back out there. You can stay. It might clear up soon. I put the kettle on, making us both tea. They look like they could use a cup. I bring it over to them, and they picked up one of my discarded books.
Anything interesting in this one?
Kitty! There's Kiwi, right there. I want to pet the kitty. Pet the kitty for me, Miri. If you're interested in different types of divination, then yes. Their eyes light up.
Can I use the tea leaves in the bottom of this cup to tell me the future? Will it predict I'm gonna have more tea?
Their good mood settles back in as they ease into the chair and pet Kiwi. Possibly, or you could divine it in the stars.
A little too cloudy for that.
They glance out the window and grin.
I can tell the future. In the next 5 minutes, it's gonna continue to rain.
There you go. That's funny. They take a sip, steam curling around their face.
Sorry for unloading on you like that. It's hard to talk about it with anyone else. They just don't understand why I would want to leave in the first place.
Do you still want to leave? They think about it for a moment.
No, I don't think so. I just need to figure out my life here. It's never been Littlewick that I wanted to escape from. I love my home, I really do. I just thought I wanted more and figured a city would provide that. And maybe it did for a time. But no, I'm settled in. Here, I'm home. That city was never home. Not really.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go away to understand that you belong where you were to begin with. I take a long look around the tower and think about what home really is. Home has been the road. Is this place home for me now? This was supposed to be temporary, and I feel like I'm getting closer each day to looking through each book. What happens next? I push the thought from my mind and spend the rest of the evening reading. Mary picks up a few books, reading aloud some of their favorite passages and laughing at the strangeness of magic. They stay until the rain stops. Oh, here's a better look at the bedroom. Now that it's daytime. Oh my goodness, I love all the little details. That's pretty cute. Just cuz. Mary swings by a couple of days later with some knitted toys.
These are from Amaya. For the cat when I mentioned you had got him.
They hand me a small basket. I pick one out. He stands to play with it, batting at the small ball while I hold the string. Mary laughs as he leaps up, yanking it down from me.
Is he getting enough to eat? You said he might be eating the mice.
I don't think there are any mice. He's strange, but I think I figured it out. He appreciates the food and water that I give him, but he doesn't need it. In the same way he enjoys sleeping beside me at night, but never seems to tire. Keely isn't a regular cat.
A magic cat?
A familiar, bound to the owner and takes physical form. They would persist as long as their owners do.
Did he belong to the wizard who used to live here? She's still alive? I heard she was old when she was here, and that was decades ago.
Magic can do weird things. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey magic thingy.
Did she just leave him here?
The flurry of questions spurts out as they crouch beside him. I don't think he was hers. I think he belongs to the tower. I hold my hands up, looking around us. We fix this place up, making it clean and livable. Only then did he present himself. He whines between my legs and then headbutts Mary's outstretched hand.
So he's here as long as someone is inhabiting the tower? Oh, are you happy to have someone around again?
He stretches out with a yawn and flops down in front of them. That is my cat. He stretches, puts his paws out way in front of him, and then flops over onto his side. Very annoying when it's right in front of you and you're trying to go somewhere. Mary glances up at me.
Considering it's your tower now, I guess he's your cat too.
Considering the way things have been going, we'll go with the first option. This is starting to feel like fun. That is such a cat sound that he just made. Okay, I have to go back and play it again. That sounds just like my cat when I poke him. I don't poke him hard, it's just enough to get his attention, and he makes that little sound. They're right, and I lean down to pet him. He purrs affectionately. He's a welcome addition, magic cat or not.
Shouldn't all good wizards have a familiar?
That's true. Not my type, because we move so often. Familiars enjoy being bound to one home.
Well, you're not leaving anytime soon, right?
I'm quiet for a moment, sinking my fingers into his fur. I don't know. I'm making good progress with my reading. When the weather is warm enough, eventually I should be on the road again. Miri bites her lip and scratches his ears.
Will he go away when you do? Vanish back into the tower?
Possibly, once it falls into disrepair. I don't know if he can persist without the presence of someone magical.
Until that day, I'll look after him, for as long as he's around. I've always wanted a cat.
They pick up one toy, a knitted sheep, and play with him. I watch them, my thoughts drifting to all I've learned here. I have filled nearly 2 journals of information I've gained here. I need to remember it all. Once I'm back out in the world, I can start putting that knowledge to use. I'm made to travel, aren't I? People like me aren't made to settle. That's the life of a hedge wizard, to learn as you go from each new experience. What's there to be gained from being stuck in one place? I wonder if that's what Mary thought when they first left to make a life in the city. Okay, I didn't notice, this is an interesting thing to notice. Here, the light source is here and here, but when you go on to the next day, it's here, so that's a really nice touch. The next morning I have an early visitor. The sun's barely cresting the horizon before there's a pounding on my door. It's not Mary's soft rhythmic knocks. Oh, right. Rolling out of bed, I shake off and try to regain my faculties. Down the spiral staircase, the person doesn't stop knocking the entire time. Knock, 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 knock. Just do. Sounds urgent. I fling the door open. What? An old woman is standing there, her arms crossed as she scowls at me. Do you know how long I've been waiting out here? I gesture to the sun rising over the hills. It's a little early for house calls. I was asleep. Oh, I bet you were, because you were casting evil spells late into the night. What? What? She jabs a finger at me and I back up a few paces. Who is this woman? Obviously, no one can answer this. And I'm gonna find out shortly anyway. I'm guessing this is Miri's mother? My grandson Barley has been... Okay, no. My grandson Barley has been having nightmares ever since you came to town. For whatever you're doing to that poor boy, you're not wanted in Littlewick. I'm not doing anything. Magic can't even... Don't give me that. I know what mages are capable of. He wakes up crying every night because of what horrid curse. I think that should be that horrid curse you cast upon him. Spell it and leave this place. My shoulders sunk. It was only a matter of time before someone grew suspicious and angry. This is not the first time I've been accused like this. People want someone to blame. Someone even accused me of causing a girl's hair to fall out after she had done a terrible haircut on herself. We're not gonna get angry because that's just gonna escalate the situation. Ma'am, I would never cause anyone harm. I take a calming breath in. Ma'am, listen, I know you're distressed for your grandson. When did these nightmares start? Well, he's had them sporadically for years, but since you came around, it's been every other night. Told him about the dreadful wizard who moved in, and he's been terrified. And you don't think it's your tall tales that are causing him to be scared? I wouldn't do that to anyone, nor do I have the capability to do so. I've been helping people around town. It's what I do. Her arms are crossed tight. She's still tense, but her anger soothes as she speaks in an even tone. If you're so helpful, why don't you fix it? Stop the nightmares? Cast a spell and make them go away. Or you can't do that either, and my little boy just has to suffer? I rack my brain. There's a talisman I could enchant to give him soothing dreams. That might be enough. She squints at me suspiciously. And it won't hurt him? Not at all. She glances around the tower at the vines wrapped around the ancient stone. Well, if this works, I'll be shocked, but you may just bring nothing but bad luck. Everyone in their right mind knows that. Miri has been very foolish by consorting with you, probably filling their head full of strange enchantments and spells and ideas, and the next thing we know, they're going to run off to another country. She scoffs. Another bright idea of theirs. You should stay away. We're going to defend Miri. Miri isn't stupid. I say the words before I can stop myself. They helped me clean this place up, and they're the reason I agreed to help the town in the first place. They come here of their own free will, and I enjoy their company. They can come by as much as they please. The old woman clicks her tongue disapprovingly and heads down the road without another word of what I should or shouldn't be doing. Close the door quickly and lean against it. This Paravino wizard I haven't missed. For real. I don't know where that old woman's voice came from, but I love it. I research the enchantment I need, flipping through a tome full of protective spells. I find one for dreams and start scribbling down everything I need. As I'm working, there's a soft knock on the door. It swings open and Miri looks surprised, her hand still raised to knock.
Oh, didn't realize it was unlocked. Can I come in?
I forgot to relock it earlier. I had an early morning visitor, and I wasn't thinking straight after her pounding woke me out of bed. Joined her so, she might come back with a vengeance. Miri winces and locks the door behind them.
Grandma Winnie must have come by. She's, been complaining about you while shopping in the market.
Is she your grandma?
No, thank the gods. Everyone just called her that by her instruction.
Oh my gosh. She sounds like the type of woman who would do that. She had some choice words about you, too.
Trust me, I've heard them all before. You should have heard what she said to me when I announced I was moving to the city. You thought I killed someone. And then when I came back...
I let out a sigh.
The most gleeful I told you so to someone who came back heartbroken. She won't even eat any of my baking. She thinks it's gonna poison it. She's always thought people are out to get her. I wonder why. She's such a lovely person.
The sarcasm. They slumped onto a chair and watched me work.
I should have warned you. I'm sorry. I came as soon as I heard her whining. Figured she came here. Want to make sure you're still in one piece?
I hold up the charm I'm crafting. Age's bitter crest intertwined within the wood. A magical plant that fortifies enchantment. Apparently I caused her grandson's nightmares and have been requested to fix it. Maybe that'll make her happy.
Nothing does, but I'm sure the kid'll appreciate it. Maybe if she'd stop telling him stories about the evil mage who's gonna turn him into a toadstool, he wouldn't have nightmares. Crazy how that works.
Right? Right?
Can you turn me into a toadstool? That'd be pretty fun, and I'm a fun guy.
Oh, my dad would love that pun. He loves the dad jokes. I audibly groan at the pun as Kiwi leaps up on their lap. And This will help soothe him. I hold up the finished product, a simple wooden charm. Miri inspects it.
It will?
The enchantment isn't complete yet. There's a whole ritual. I need to cast a spell under the moonlight.
And you'll curse the whole town with nightmares. What a foul hag who walks among us.
They laugh and shake their heads.
They just don't get it, huh? They don't even try. Even Tavin when you healed his leg. If they just spent a little time with you, they'd understand what magic is really about. Well, magic in the way you use it. No fireballs raining down a little wick today.
They stroke Keely and think for a moment.
You need help with the spell ritual at all?
An extra pair of hands is always useful, but you can also just watch if you want. They beam and promise to meet me later. Once the moon is high in the sky, I head out into the woods. We're gonna save again, just because. Because why not? It's fun. It's different at night. A small glowing sprite light my way and dance around the trees. Night blooms open to their touch, and I find a clearing where the moonlight streams in. Mary trails behind me.
I haven't been to the woods at night since I was little. I used to hide out here after dark so I wouldn't have to go home yet.
They point to one of the trees, its thick gnarled branches reaching out.
I fell out of that tree once.
Were you alright? They shrugged.
Scrapes and bruises, but nothing serious. But after that, I was forbidden to be out in the woods alone. Good thing I have you, huh? I might be compelled to do some reckless tree climbing.
I haven't fallen out of trees, but I did fall off a set of monkey bars because some idiot kids wouldn't get out of the way so I could get down so they could use the monkey bars. So I fell, and basically I've had back problems ever since. It's like, the kid really wanted to get on the monkey bars and would not move so I could get down. And this was, I wasn't even 10 yet. I think this was 2nd, 3rd grade, so it's like 7, 8, somewhere around there. And just this kid, he was bigger than me, and he wouldn't freaking move. And I was losing my grip, and I finally my hand slipped, and I just fell. And it's just like, even at that age, kids did not get it. I begin the ritual, casting spell components across the ground in a circle. Miri helps get them set up in the right position before standing back to let me work. I chant the incantation, holding up the charm I made. Magic swirls around my fingertips, and I press them hard against the charm. It glows brightly in the moonlight, taking on a soft grayish hue with arcane runes scribed on it. With a flash, the talisman is complete, and I hold it in triumph. No more nightmares.
Look at you go. Every town should have a helpful wizard.
The glowing sprites circle us, drawn to the display of magic. Miri holds up a hand, and one lands on their palm. They give it a soft smile.
Maybe I should come out here more often. It's peaceful. These glowy things weren't here when I was a kid. Are these like the ones in your garden? Drawn to your magic and all?
I nod as several swirls around me.
If Grandma Winnie only bothered to see this. I can deliver the talisman to her if you want.
No, have her come by the tower and bring her grandson.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Maybe not, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yay! Stepping out of our comfort zone! The knock at my door the next morning is at a much more reasonable time. Flick my wrist, opening the door with a swirl of magic. When he scowls as the magic sparkles around my hand. There's a young boy kept tucked against her, and he looks up at me with wide eyes. You're the wizard? Okay, yeah, it's Barley. Because earlier it was the way it was spelled, the E and the L were switched, and so it was barely. Were you expecting someone else? I thought you were green with pointy teeth. That's what Grandma said. He points up at her and I give her a tight-lipped smile. That's funny, since you met me yesterday. Didn't have time to update him? Well, will you put an end to this madness? What's been going on? I address that should be Barley instead of her, softening my voice. He looks nervous, but also I sense he's relieved I'm not the monster she told him I was. He speaks in a small voice. I've been having nightmares. I told it should be hold out instead of told out. The talisman. This will help with that. You just keep this in your room and it'll help soothe your dreams. He takes it and looks it over, running a finger along the grooves. It's magic? I enchanted it myself. It'll keep you safe. It glows slightly and he looks at it in awe. Holding it to his chest, he runs back to his grandmother. Thank you, wizard. Winnie lowers her voice. And how do I know this isn't you ending your curse now that you've been found out? Or that thing won't do something worse to him. Ask Edmund about his hands, or Amaya about his garden, or Kinglon about his leg. Are they horribly cursed now? She huffs and guides her grandson away. There's no thanks, but the fact that she accepted it is enough. She might not trust me, but at least that kid can sleep through the night now. With help from the growing potion and soil, the garden is starting to sprout. But beautiful wildflowers dot the grass, along with different plants and herbs I use for spell components. I spend the day gathering, collecting, and then sorting through them all. Most are common ingredients for potions, so it's good to have them handy. The book about magical gardening turned out to be the most practical one I found. The fruits and vegetables we've planted are starting to ripen as well. I tug spring onions from the ground. Cauliflower is near harvesting time. I let it grow a little longer. I have a large crop of strawberries which have grown in abundance. Some of the garden sprites help me pick them, floating them over to a wicker basket which is lined with a soft check tea towel. There are more than I could eat, so when Miri comes around I explain this predicament.
We can make jam out of them. They'll last even longer.
I've never done that before.
I can show you. We'll make a day of it. We can even bake something too.
They sound eager. Excuse me. They got me to clean and boil a few empty jars using magic to make them shine. Meanwhile, Mary places the strawberries on a cutting board to remove the tops and slice each one up into workable quarters. They place the fruit into a pot and use a wooden spoon to mash them up and make them soft. I can use magic for this.
Maybe, but it's a good workout.
That's true. They flex their arms with a grin. Pouring in lemon juice and adding butter, they mix and stir and soften it all over flame. Allow me to use magic for this, keeping it heated until it begins to bubble. Then they pour in pre-measured cups of sugar until it's dissolved. I lower the heat per their instructions, and they put me to work by stirring.
Do not stop stirring.
I try and focus, my arms starting to tire. They weren't kidding about the workout. Eventually it reaches a thick syrup-like consistency, and I remove it from the heat. Miri takes over and uses a spoon to skim off the bubbles and foam. They ladle the jam into jars while I hold them. Once done, they screw the seal tightly and place the jars into a pot of boiling water to create an airtight seal. I didn't know that was a thing. It's a lot of work, and they finish by setting the jars down to cool on a shelf and dust off their hands.
They should be ready for tomorrow. They'll have a massive supply now.
That's a lot of jam, and let's share the bounty. There are too many for just me. Could you hand them out around Littlewick? Mary brightens.
That's a great idea. Of course I can. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Maybe not the type of potion one would expect from a wizard, but a welcome one.
A tasty one, too. Personally, I prefer grape jam or jelly to strawberry, but, strawberry's good. Thank you for your help.
It's no problem at all. I can pass on what I know. Besides, you said that strawberries are your favorite. Now you can join them anytime.
That's true. They clean up the kitchen, washing pots and placing everything away. They clean off one strawberry we didn't use and pop it in the mouth with the cream.
We can make scones too, if you're not going to run off and bury yourself in a book.
There are still plenty of books to read, but I've just been going through the same ones. The strange arcane text I cannot translate has been driving me crazy. Maybe I need a break from before diving back in to crack it. No, that'd be nice. They beam and pull out everything we need. A large mixing bowl, adding their dry ingredients, stirring it with a clean wooden spoon, the other one covered in jam.
Perfect. I've been wanting to try out this kitchen since we cleaned up in here. It's so much more spacious than the one at home.
They instruct me to grab the other things we need. As I work, pouring and measuring things, I realize it is quite similar to making a potion or a complex spell. I float the jug up to pour in the wet ingredients gradually.
You're pretty handy to have around. I should hire you to help me with all my baking.
They add in lemon zest and work on the dough.
You don't want to overwork the dough. You need the right texture for the scones. Do you want to try?
I'll help you. Okay, what do I do? Mirren shows me how to knead, folding it over and pressing it down with their palms. I try, adjusting my hands and pressing into the dough.
Like this.
They place their hands over mine, guiding me through the motion. I copy what they do, and they brighten.
Yeah, just like that. You're a natural. Or maybe you just have a good teacher.
One of those. They're grinning, their hands still over mine. They laugh nervously, scratching their cheek and getting flour on it.
What was I saying? Oh, okay, just repeat that 4 more times and we'll cut it up.
Using a sharp knife, they cut the scone into wedges and place them on a baking tray and into the oven. Okay, so the question is, how do you pronounce this word? Is it scone or scone? And apparently that's a bit up for debate in England, at least.
Shouldn't be long. We're waiting for them to be golden brown. I'll melt some butter to drizzle over top.
Once they're done, they brush the butter over top and let them cool. Once they're ready to eat, we enjoy them together. They're delicious, have a hint of lemon, and are perfectly baked.
They turned out just how I wanted them. Thank you for letting me use your kitchen.
They take a deep breath, a spring breeze floating through the open window curtain. Blowing in the wind.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that baking is supposed to be fun. Once it became my job, there were days where it was overwhelming and a chore.
They start to clean up, but I shake my head. Leave it. I'll use magic to get them clean.
It'd be worth all that studying just to learn that trick.
Taking a stone to go, they leave the tower with their signature cheery wave. It rains again over the next few days, so I spend most of my time reading. Covered as many books as I've wanted to, and instead try various spells and tricks to translate that one wretched arcane tome. I've hit a wall and want to throw the book out from the top of the tower. Maybe that will do the trick. But I sigh and set it aside. Kaylee jumps on top of it and licks his paw, stepping over all of the pages. There's a knock at the door and I assume it's Miri. I'm glad it's not raining hard out, only drizzling. We open the door to two people, to my surprise. Miri is there with another person who's crying.
Hey, can we come in?
I step aside, allowing them to pass. Miri sits them down at the kitchen table and glances up at me.
Sorry, I didn't know where else to bring them. Maybe you could help them?
What's wrong? The stranger rubs their eyes to wipe away their tears. It's nothing. I'm being stupid.
No, you're not.
They frown, brows drawing together.
Oakley, well, do you want to explain it? I shouldn't speak for you.
Oakley lets out a long sigh, running their fingers through their short hair. It's not that serious. I'm not... Mary puts their hands on their hips.
You've been crying your eyes out. It's not nothing.
Oakley chews on their lip and looks me up and down. Okay, it starts with this girl, right? She lives in town, and we've been friends for ages, and I really care about her, you know? They suck on their teeth. I realized I wanted more than just friendship, and I asked her about it. She doesn't feel the same way. Now I've gone and ruined everything. I feel like an idiot. I still want to be friends. They unload and put their elbows up on the table, planting their forehead down. And it feels selfish to say it, but it feels like my heart is broken. I respect your decision, and I should just get over it. Their words come out rambling and quickly, and they yank a string off their sweater. So, I don't know. Mary dragged me here and said you could help, that you could make all those feelings go away with some spell. They don't sound convinced, and I don't blame them. Feelings and emotions are difficult to remove. There might be potions to calm and soothe someone, but no magic I know of to make them not love this girl. Mary shoots me a fleeting look behind their back. That's a problem. Magic can't solve all problems. Okay, I'm gonna save here. I feel like this is a major turning point. Let's at least try to do something for them. Can't take away these feelings, but I can help put your heart at ease. I boil the kettle and prepare a few ingredients. I have a bundle of Activender, a magical herb that is used for its calming properties. I sprinkle it into the cup and pour in the steaming water. I set it in front of Oakley. Drink up, it'll help soothe you. You take a careful sip. I'm sorry you've gone through all that. I hope you can repair your friendship with her, even if it's not what you thought would happen. Just talk to her. Having a friend is better than not having one. No, you're right. They drink the tea and the magic washes over them. I see the tension melt from their shoulders. This is nice. Thanks. They glance at Mary. Fine, I'll admit it. You were right.
See, I told you she could help you.
They give me a bright smile. Oakley gets up with a stretch. I'll talk to her. Not now. I'll give it some time, but I'm sure we can work it out.
That's the spirit.
They wave at me as they guide them from the tower. I shut the door and watch them through the window as they head down the road. Mary holds a jacket over Oakley to protect them from the rain. Even after the rain clears, I stay inside. I grab that arcane tome and flip through the pages again. I've written down all the runes I can decipher and try and make a translation, but I swear they switch every time I open it. It's frustrating, but I set it aside for now. I'm not getting anywhere tonight. I wake later than usual, sunlight streaming in through the window. I pry it open to get some fresh air. The spring breeze is scented like the wildflowers growing in the garden. Whoops. It feels nice, and I take a deep breath. Miri is coming up along the road, carrying a little basket. I wave to them, and they glance up, startled for a second, before they wave back.
Good morning. Are you gonna let your hair down and pull me up? That'd be more fun than taking the stairs.
I laugh and reach up to cast a spell. Magic swirls around Miri, and they gasp as they're drawn towards the window. They're laughing too, clutching the basket.
Don't drop me now.
Never. I help them through the window, and they brush themselves off once they land safely. They hold up the basket. It's lined with a soft cloth.
Baked you a new loaf of bread. Sourdough this time.
You have no idea how much I appreciate you.
It was some of an idea when you talk like that.
Keely pats over and rubs between their legs. They sit on the floor to pet him and give him sweet words. I take the basket. It smells amazing, and set it aside for later. No, I need you to know. I've been traveling so long, never stopping anywhere long enough to form a connection. You've made such a difference. You open your heart to a stranger just to give them a chance at happiness, and I'm grateful.
And you've given me someone to share things with. My bakings and my jokes, they're still all new to you. When you look at me, you don't see who I used to be or have preconceptions. Honestly, it's just been nice to speak with someone who doesn't throw in a snide comment about me living in the city or crawling back home.
They let out a sigh.
I'm grateful to you.
They sit beside me on the bed and stare out the open window. Their hair blows in the breeze, and they swipe the strands out of their face.
Hey, I'm glad that of all the places the road could have taken you, you came to Little Wick. So that we got to meet. I was stuck in a rut for a long time after I moved back home, and it's like you opened the curtains and let the light back in.
Definitely saving. I've grown to care for you. Reach out and take their hands. They turn pink at the contact. Their hands very warm and mind.
Maybe it's fate.
Mine should be mind. Should be mine instead of mind. E instead of D.
Maybe it's fate. Do you believe in fate?
I'm a wizard. We make our destiny. Yes, the road led me to you, but only through your kindness did we meet. That was your choice. They hum, interlocking our fingers and squeezing my hand.
I don't want to overstep in case I've misread your affections.
I care for you, Miri, more than I thought I would. I'm never around long enough to connect with someone, but this has been different. You're different with how much care you've shown. I only hope you realize that I care for you in the same way. I might not be able to offer you all that you've done for me, but I hope to have given you some comfort. Blech. I can read. I can talk. I swear. They're quiet for a moment, and then they pull me into a tight hug, their chin resting on my shoulder. I tense only for a second, as I'm so not used to physical contact. Mary pulls back and cups my face with both hands, their eyes shining.
I'd like to kiss you. Is that okay?
I nod, and they beam. Leaning in, they kiss me ever so gently. It tastes like strawberries, and they smile the entire time. As we pull back, they duck their head with a quiet laugh.
I'm so glad I didn't misread that. You have been flirting with me.
They laugh in earnest and nudge my ribs with their elbow.
Fate or not, I'm pretty lucky you came into my life. It's been kind of lonely. All my friends I grew up with are here, but things are just different between us. Ever since I came back. I don't know how to make it better.
Have you talked to them about everything you went through? They shake their head.
I'm embarrassed. They all told me I couldn't do it, and I hate that they were right.
They should have been there to support you instead of calling you down.
Maybe they were just being honest, and were trying to stop me from getting hurt.
Better to have tried and failed than never have tried at all. They nod slowly.
Yeah. I think you're right.
They lean in and kiss me on the cheek.
That's what I love about you. You're a good friend, too.
They slip their hand into mine again.
I want to work it out with them. I've missed how things used to be, and maybe we can never get that back, but then we'll figure out how to build a future.
That sounds good.
It'd be nice to have someone by my side. Are you sure you never want to come into Little Wick? I won't pressure you, but if you ever did, I'd love to show you around. There's this cute little market I could take you to. You could come around for dinner.
Like a date?
Yeah, like a date. Someone's got to show you a good time.
I contemplate that for a bit. I've got a house full of people there, some crotchety, others warm. I glance over, seeing my half-finished blanket. Maybe sometime.
There's no rush, just know the offer is always open, okay? You've given me access to your home, it's only fair I do the same.
You're the one who's made it home. They press their forehead against mine, and I kiss them again.
We're a team. A team who gets to kiss each other now.
They laugh, and I pull them into another hug as we fall back on the bed. They curl up against me, and we stare up at the ceiling. The sweet spring breeze flows through. We stay there in contentment for a while before they sneak one more kiss on the corner of my mouth and get up.
I'll let you get back to whatever it is you were doing. Reading, probably. Read anything good?
They pick up the arcane tome and flip through the pages. They wince as the magical text flares up.
Ugh, heavy stuff.
I haven't been able to crack it.
You'll figure it out, you brilliant wizard, you.
They grin and hand back the book. They take a look out the window.
I'll take the stairs back down.
With a wink, they wave goodbye. I'm left to my reading with a basket of bread for breakfast. I'm on plate working on this ancient tome again. I can almost hear Mary's voice telling me to sleep. I sat beside me on the bed and traced my finger against the runes. Keely jumps in bed with me and nuzzles into my face. I stroke his head and cover a yawn. That is my cat. He does that. He gets into bed with me and basically just gets between me and my phone because I'm usually on my phone at that point. Ready for bed? Stands on top of the book and tilts his head. I frown and sit up. His eyes are gleaming and I'm blinking like he's trying to tell me something. What is it? Do you know how to read this book? It would be a silly question to any other cat, but not to this familiar. He meows and leaps over to the bedside table. He lands right next to the other mystery I've driven myself crazy over. The locket. Maybe the locket is the key to the book. Literally! I hold it up, the candlelight flickering against it. Can you open this? I think for a moment, before starting to chant an incantation. I create a binding thread that tethers him to the locket, drawing from his magical signature. He waits patiently, licking his paw. I release the spell and magic swirls around the locket. It comes undone, and I pry it open. I hold it with both hands. There's a tiny, glowing green orb. It spins rapidly inside, a bead of magical energy. Is this for me? I look up at Keely again, and he blinks his big green eyes at me. I take it as a yes. I reach out and carefully touch it. Touch the vibrate, spinning faster before shooting up my arm. I feel warm flush over me, like I've sunk into a bath. I take a deep breath in and release it. Potential energy gathers at the tips of my fingers. Within the locket, there's a small portrait. An old woman with Keely on her lap. They look very happy. I turn the portrait to face him. Do you miss her? Why did she leave? He meows again and leaps over. He rubs against my hand and then sits beside the tome. I begin to flip through the pages. The runes start to glow, responding to my touch. I run my fingers across the pages, and the arcane language shifts and twists, turning to words and text. My eyes widen, and I ravenously scour all the pages, absorbing as much information as I can. I'm wide awake now, invested in cracking this book. This isn't any old book, it's her spell book. Now decoded, I find notes about spells and potions and anything I could ever need. It's heavy, complex stuff and uses techniques I've never heard of. I flip right to the end and see several blank pages. I try to use this new spell, tracing my hand across the parchment, but nothing happens. I turn the pages until the latest entry. Last thing recorded speaks of an ancient wellspring deep within a dark forest. If one drinks from the water, one would gain vast amounts of knowledge. She writes about planning to leave the tower to find it, ready to leave everything behind. What need would she have for books and notes if everything could be contained in her mind alone? She refers to another tome within the tower, and I practically fly down the stairs to retrieve it. It's another of the books I haven't been able to translate, and I use the spell to understand it. I find the passage on the pool and start to write down all the myths and legends surrounding it. If I could find this for myself, that would have made all this time here worth it. I knew that if I looked hard enough, I'd find something of value in this old tower. I flip through her spellbook again and see another note at the bottom of the page. I have always believed knowledge is meant to be shared. If you were reading this, the tower's guardian must have deemed you worthy of knowing what I do now. The tower was my home for so very long that it breaks my heart to leave, but the road calls to new adventures, and wisdom is power beyond belief. The words glimmer with magic before vanishing off the page. I reach out for Keely and pet him. He purrs and curls up beside me. Thank you. This is just what I was looking for. This is perfect. I can find this tower, pass through all the dangers to get there, and drink from the spring. I ramble out loud and stroke his ears. He flicks his tail against my arm. That's why she left you here, huh? Because I couldn't take you with me. Miri promised to look after you. I trail off. Persist, for some reason I stand this tower any longer. I've read every book I need to. Found this ancient magical secret. Now, on to better and brighter things. I don't need to be stuck beside some small town. I promised Mary to stay until the end of the season, but can I wait any longer? All my life I've searched for knowledge and magic to grow my power. Now an opportunity has been handed to me on a silver platter. I close the book and set it back on the bedside table. Crawl beneath the cover and stare up at the bed frame, a soft curtain draped above me. The cat curls up at my feet, always liking to be pressed against me while sleeping. I reflect on the time I spent in the tower. We worked so hard to make it beautiful again. But now it serves no purpose, right? Not anymore. Think about Mary. I feel warm just thinking about what we've shared. I've grown fond of them. They have been a huge part of my life since I came here. They made sure I lived in comfort, that I was well fed, and that I was happy. They're still a dear friend, even if our feelings have evolved past that. Am I ready to leave them? The thought troubles me, and I pull the covers tighter. Sort it out in the morning. For now, I let sleep take me. The next morning, I gather up the few belongings I brought with me. I'll leave everything from the tower behind. I won't have room to take it with me. I eat breakfast and gaze out the window to the road ahead. Keely jumps onto the table and noses against my hand until I pet him. He's been even more needy and affectionate lately. Left hundreds of places behind. Why should this be any different? He chirps at me and snuggles into my lap. I sigh and pet his eeks. That should be yours. Maybe it would be better to just go. Don't say goodbye. Just sleep. Don't draw pain. That plan is immediately foiled when I see a figure coming up the road. Mary knocks on the door. I flick her wrist, opening it with magic. They blink, startled, as the wooden door crashes against the frame as it's flung open. There doesn't need to be an apostrophe here, because the apostrophe means it's a contraction of it is. The lack of an apostrophe shows that it's possessive.
Giving me a grand entrance, huh?
They shake their head with a laugh. They grab my hand and brush their lips against it in a soft kiss.
Hey, what's going on?
Their expression falls when they notice the glum look on my face and they pull up a chair.
You okay?
I found something, in that ancient tome.
That's incredible. I know you've been trying to crack it. What did it say?
Whoops. There's this place far from here, in a deep and dangerous woods, a pool of knowledge. Whoever drinks from it gains power beyond reckoning. This wizard who used to live here left to find it, and she left a trail for others to follow in her footsteps.
It's perfect. That's what you wanted, right?
But they glanced down.
Oh. Does this mean you're not leaving right now, are you?
I've used up everything in the tower. I've read through all the most important books. I stayed here because I thought I could find something to help me become a better wizard. And now I have. The unspoken part is the loudest. What's keeping me here now? I told you I wasn't staying forever.
I thought we had at least until the end of spring, or maybe...
They shake their head.
I guess it's just wishful thinking, huh?
I've already started to pack. I didn't want this to hurt. I just wanted to go. I should have never grown attached. I knew the life I needed. I'm made for the road, Mary.
Why do you have to be? You're just bound to this life forever? That's not how things work. Your life is in your hands. You can live the life that you want. Will you come back?
The point is to move on to better and new things, to learn all I can. Mary nods and swallows thickly.
And if I asked you to stay, would you? If I told you how much you mean to me? That you're the first person in so long that I've opened my heart to, and to lose you would be, please don't go. I know that's selfish, but I'd hate myself if I didn't ask.
I wring my hands together and look down at my lap. Listen, I've been struggling with this too.
Isn't it lonely being all alone on the road? I know loneliness. I've been lonely in a town full of people. You've helped ease that, and I hope that I've helped you in the same way.
Then come with me. Their eyes widen in shock. We can go together, and we won't be lonely because we have each other. Silence hangs in the air between us. And then they shake their head.
No, that's not my life. All of that travel, it's not me. I want something permanent. Home. And yes, it's been hard in Little Wick, but that just means I have to make it better. And I'm willing to try, but I'm not gonna run away. I'm just not built for danger or adventure. Sorry.
This is what I do, Mary. I find new knowledge and make myself better and more powerful. It's what I've done here. If I found the spring and drank from the waters of knowledge, I'd be unstoppable. I would be that wizard from stories, bringing fire from the sky or anything I wish to do. Not just using silly tricks as I do now.
Those silly tricks have helped a lot of people in town. Why would you want power like that? When I dreamed of my life in the city, I thought about my little bakery expanding into a massive operation, having different stores across the kingdom. But that's not what I wanted. I just wanted to make people happy with my baking. Not everyone needs to reach their full power. Sometimes all they need is to be a kind person and a good friend. That's what I've tried to be.
Dun dun dun. I think this leads to the two different endings. We're gonna stay. I absorb their words as I wipe away tears. Keely sits on my lap, purring as I scratch his ears. You really think I should stay?
I want you to be happy. And if leaving will help you find that path, then I have no right to keep you from that. But I think you could be happy here too. I hope you could be happy with life with me.
I shut their eyes and take a deep breath. The tension is thick in the air, weighing heavy on my shoulders. Am I ready to be on the road again, to face peril and danger, to travel to such a place? You're right. It is lonely. I've been terribly lonely. But you've made it better. I've never had a home, never had someplace permanent to come back to each night. And I thought I would hate it. I thought the road would be calling to me every day. But it hasn't. I've enjoyed this kind of life. Yes, this magical spring will grant me what I've been searching for, and I won't give up on that dream. But I know what that kind of power does to you. It changes you. I have years upon years to go. I'm tired of this endless journey, of never staying in one place to build a life. I already have this knowledge, and when I'm ready, I'll seek it out. When I'm ready to be changed forever. But not today. Today, I'm happy right where I am. I take their hands and pull them close. They fling their arms around me, and I kiss them. I can't leave you behind now, can I? They hold me tight like I'll vanish into mist if they let go. They let out a relieved laugh.
You're staying? I just don't want you to give up on things because of me.
I'm not giving up. I'm just pivoting. There's no rush. I've put this pressure on myself to have everything figured out, to move on to the next thing as fast as I can. But I'll stay and take a breath, and I think there's more for me to learn. Not magical-wise, but about life. They smile, a little lost for words.
I wasn't ready to lose you.
Neither was I. I think for now you're right. I just want to be a good friend. They hug me tightly, and neither of us let go for a long time. A couple of days later, Miri invites me out.
I know you don't like leaving your tower, but if you're gonna stay, why don't we head to the market together? I could show you around, people could thank you in person. And they could see you're not some scary hag who's spying on us with a crystal ball. You're not doing that, right?
I'm not. I laugh and shake my head. I'm nervous.
I'll be right by your side. But I won't push you if you're not ready.
They take my hand and squeeze it. I lean in to kiss their cheek. I think I'm ready. They lead the way and we head down the road together. I lock the front door and wave goodbye to Keely. He meows at us.
We'll be back.
They wave at him and lead me into Littlewood. It's a cheery little place. The people are in soft clothing and there are humble houses scattered around. Chimneys blow gray smoke which is swept away on the breeze. Miri takes me to a farmer's market where local producers and artisans sell their goods. We head to the first stall where a portly man glances up and beams. Ah, Miri, good to see you. Here for your regular order? They hum in assent and he hands them a large basket with a few sacks of flour. Miri thanks him and hands him a few coins. Now, who's your friend here? Oh, you must be that wizard. Heard lots about you from old man Edmund. Things are doing great. Do you make more of that stuff? My wife has the same problem. I can make another batch. Wonderful. What would I owe you for it? Nothing. I don't mind helping. I glance at Mary out of the corner of my eye. You could give them a discount on their next order. They elbow me.
She's sweet, but you don't have to do that.
Nonsense. I'd be glad to. He leans in to whisper at me. I'm real glad Mary's got someone like you in their life. I haven't seen them this happy in a long time. Mary sighs, blowing a strand of hair out of their eyes. I'm a lot happier too. Good to hear. He waves us off and we continue on our way. He was nice.
He always has been. Sometimes it's hard to realize how much people care for you.
We wander through the market, several people glancing our way. I'm feeling overwhelmed, but Miri sticks close to my side and offers me some comfort. Oh, Miri! A middle-aged woman waves at us and brightens when she sees me. You must be Amber. Mary told me all about you. Thank you so much for that little potion. The soil has been growing perfectly. She gestures to the flower stall she's working at. I'm happy to help, and thank you for all the knitting materials. I've been trying to pick up the craft. Why don't you come over sometime? The kids have been asking to meet the wizard. I can show you a thing or two. While it makes me nervous, her warm smile puts me at ease. I'd like that. Thanks. Of course, hon. She smiles at Mary. Look at you. You've got quite the catch, Mary laughs, turning a little pink.
I'm pretty lucky.
Mary beams at me. Here, take these. She hands me a bouquet of flowers. They're white and pink with golden centers. They smell sweet, like springtime. On the house. I take them gratefully and put them in the basket. I tuck one of the flowers behind Mary's ear. I sneak a kiss on their cheek beyond caring if people are watching. They buy some fresh fruit and a little carton of eggs and buy us both glasses of lemonade to enjoy as we take a seat. As we're resting our legs, Oakley walks by. Hey, you two. They offer a crooked smile and looks a lot better than they did before. A weight that has been lifted. Got a lot of shopping to do for tonight.
What's the occasion?
Date night. They wink and go about their business. Mary smiles fondly after them.
It's good. They're learning to move on.
Littlewick is a small town, and it feels like everyone is at the market today. I can feel eyes on me and hear whispers. It's never unusual, but there are no sneers or glares. Just curiosity. Maybe apprehension, but everyone seems friendly. How is Tadman's leg?
Healing up nicely. He needed some rest, though he's been banned from going on patrols. So he's been sulking.
Granny Winnie is buying blueberries when she glances up to see us. She squints at me. I'm barely. I'm sorry. Barely hasn't had any more nightmares. I'm glad to hear it. She sucks on her teeth. He wants to visit you again and see all your magic tricks. If I send him your way, I want him back in one piece, you hear? He'd be safe and sound. She huffs but eventually concedes. She wishes us both a good day and looks at Mary, her eyes softening ever so slightly.
Now that's a glowing review. We should get the town to write these out and post them on your door to attract new people in. Didn't turn my grandson into a frog. 5 stars. You could run a little shop out of that tower.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
What, the reviews?
Not that, the shop. I could practice my trade like I did when I was traveling, but have somewhere permanent where people from all over could go to.
You're the nice wizard from all the fairy tales.
You know what else we could run out of that tower? A bakery. A bakery. Say a bakery.
We?
I grin at them. A bakery. Yes! They stop, eyes widening.
Really? You let me, you want me to?
They sputter for a moment before they grab my hand.
I could have a bakery again?
It might not be what you thought your dream would be, but something else. A type of compromise that turns out to be even better. They fling their arms around me and all the basket contents go flying, but I cast a spell to freeze them in midair.
That sounds amazing, thank you!
They hold me tight and kiss me sweetly.
I never thought I'd have another chance, but with you, I like that.
I can be your product tester. Make sure they're up to standard.
You'll be the first to try them all.
We spend the rest of the day in the market and Mary is glowing. People may still be fearful of me, but in time they'll understand I mean no harm. And I can't help but notice that people's eyes light up as Mary talks excitedly about the bakery idea, and they all give words of support. Maybe the town just wasn't ready to let them go, like I wasn't. In this little tower that we've made into a home, we built something new. I sell potions and mixtures and balm, casting spells and giving advice. Rarely for coin, usually for trade, help, or anything they can offer in return. It's good work, I'm always well fed, and have somewhere comfortable to sleep. Miri goes by nearly every day, working in the kitchen and selling baked goods out of the window. They teach me too so I can help, and I enchant a few. Some prefer a biscuit over a potion. I fall a little more in love every day. Eventually Miri moves in with me, and this tower becomes our home. Neither of us will ever be lonely again. Keely enjoys them being around, and the three of us have a life together, where the air always smells like baking and flowers. But I am no longer a lowly hedge wizard wandering aimlessly in the world. I have a home and people who care for me, and I care for them in return. This may not be the life I have always dreamed of, but something else. Compromise that turns out to be even better. Most of all, I'm happy. Home is where the heart is. Thank you for playing! So let's look at the gallery. So pretty. I didn't take time to appreciate this picture when it came up before. kitty. I want to pet the kitty. Can I pet the kitty? I'll just have to go find mine and pet him later. Well, that was lovely. Quite enjoyed it. I would love to just know more about their future life together, but I can just come up with that myself, to be honest. So yes, this was lovely. I will include a link in the description on the YouTube video to the itch page where you can download it and donate if you have the funds. Please do donate if you do download it, or any of their other games. So yes, hopefully I will remember to stream on Wednesday like I originally planned to last week. I will pick up with our live DLC, the Derek one, and then we'll get back to Mass Effect next weekend. I'm not sure if it'll be Saturday or Sunday. It depends on what's going on Saturday. Yesterday, I didn't because I've been following a streamer playing FF14 for the first time. And yesterday he did a marathon stream finishing the final expansion, the main quest for that. And yeah, so I was watching that. I think I forgot to edit the name of the stream. Whoops. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Take care everyone, and I hope you have fun. Bye!